Okay, so um, sorry, I'm trying to learn how to use some new equipment to make videos. Um, I'm probably not. I mean, I used to do when I first. So I mean by scatterbrained, like I can't even talk. Like I'm just saying, like there's a YouTube channel, right? So I could be creative with it, right? I could like do video vlogs. I could do little short, like, skits or short movies. I could do some documentaries. I could do some satire or comedy stuff. And I was kind of playing with it last year. But then when I looked at the whole thing, I wasn't really satisfied with the product that I had put out. So I just deleted the whole thing. And now I'm going to try again. Like, I mean, I kind of have like the basics down on how to use the YouTube thing. I mean, I know there's probably a lot more stuff that can be done, but I just know some basics. So probably these first few videos that I do are going to be extremely basic. Um, but I do like video vlogging. It's really weird because I'm a lonely person. It's half self-inflicted and the other half I just don't find how or where to fit in. uh, I mean, half of it's self-inflicted because I have preferences of situations, behaviors, and the way I want things to be, and I don't see it. The other half is just me not fitting in. It's like either my clothes aren't right, or my body's not right, or I don't have enough money, or something. There's always like I'm just not the right fit in the puzzle, or the puzzle just doesn't. I don't like the puzzle at all. It's one or the other. And so I'm not really antisocial. It's like I'm a missing puzzle piece and I can't find the right puzzle. Um, so I'm alone a lot. And it's cool in some ways. I mean, being alone, I've gotten used to it. It's like I do a lot of writing. I don't know. I must have been born some kind of obsessive compulsive writer because pretty much I can spend all day writing. And I'm glad that I know how to type because if I had to do all that by hand, I probably, my hands would have probably cramped up like 10 years ago. So it's kind of cool that I do have the keyboard to type with. Um, I mean, a lot of it's junk. I write a lot of junk sometimes, but then say I write like three junky poems or two junky stories, then to get to the one good one, it's okay. It's not all going to be like masterpiece. I mean, even when I do drawing or painting, I mean, same thing. It's like I might do two crappy ones before I get to one I really like. That's all right. But anyway, I was just thinking about, like, I don't know if it's just because I'm in my, I'm 52. I don't know if it's because I'm in that like weird age of some older people still won't call me old, but definitely the young people want to call me old, and I'm feeling awkward about it. It's kind of like, I mean, I kind of talked to this teenager, on one of the writing websites. I think it was a teenager was feeling like awkward, because they're not quite, they're like right on the edge, like 17, 18. And so they're kind of like right on the edge where they feel sort of grown up, but yet everybody still looks at them like a baby. And it's funny because at 52, it's the same freaking awkward feeling. It actually started in the late 40s. And I don't know how long it's going to last, but I'm going through the same awkward feeling of teenagers, and a repeat too of a lot of the same physical problems that teenagers go through, like acne and awkward hair stuff, and you know, it's just so weird because once you get past it and you get to 20 and 21 and you're like cheering like thank God teenage years are over. Well, don't be jumping for joy, about that forever, because come your late 40s and 50s, you might get smacked in the face again with that shit, because I am. I'm going through it. And this teenage awkwardness sucks. I hated it then, and it's no better, later on in life. Um, the only difference is I don't have to deal with teachers and homework. That's about the only difference. But I self-impose that because I'm a writer now, and I just spend a lot of time doing that because I'm lonely, I'm bored, and that's the thing that just comes out of me the easiest. Um, but I'm gonna probably do these video vlogs because I think a lot about the things that I see and the things that I hear. A long time ago, somebody asked me, well, what's your opinion on such and such? And I don't even remember what the topic was, but I didn't have an opinion. I was young. I was probably like 20 when, somebody was asking me to join in the conversation. And I said, what's your opinion? I was like 20 years old. I didn't even have an opinion, really. I was like shrugging, like, I don't know, an opinion? What's that? And I didn't have one. And they were looking at me like, you know, disappointed because I wasn't experienced enough or passionate enough to have formulated an opinion. Um, and I mean, I've gone through life, and I started developing very strong opinions about things. And then the longer you go through life, you start looking at some of your older opinions and changing your mind about things because you're kind of like, well, when I was 30, I felt really strongly about that. But then a decade later, a lot of shit went down, and it sort of changed my opinion about that. So opinions, you can be convicted about an opinion at a certain point in your life and feel really strongly about it, but you might lack an experience that'll change that opinion later on. Um, hmm. And that's just the way life is. It's, constantly, there's always a curveball that throw you around and go, huh. And then you even question yourself, like, am I still me? Because I was sure that opinion was like, written in stone inside of me. And then you kind of just have to accept yourself again. Like, well, shit happened, and I had to change my opinion because what I thought so strongly about, I just can't think that way anymore because too much shit happened for me to think that way. Um, well, anyway, so, I mean, I'm still, some things haven't changed about me. I'm still an American. I still love my country. And I know, I was a big fan of one of the writers that I studied in college, Ernest Hemingway. And I guess there was this whole, down in the Keys, he lived down there, and, just like, I don't know, there, anyway, let me just go back to Hemingway before I go about into the history of the writer. I don't even know that much, but Hemingway wrote a lot of books, and as a aspiring teacher, aspiring writer in college, learning about him was not just interesting or fascinating or whatever. And I thought his writing was good, but it's not just that. I mean, I had been introduced to his work when I was a child. That his name had come up, and and when I saw his books, I mean, it was kind of shocking to see how many books he had written, the length of the books he had written. He was up there. He's not just an American classic because, you know, people have read the books. He's an American classic because of the greatness of the writing and the amount of the writing, right up there with people like Melville. But I'm not here this video vlog's not about tooting the horn of Ernest Hemingway. I'm mentioning Ernest Hemingway because he writes like a writer, I mean, I'm a writer. I'm never going to be like as famous as Ernest Hemingway. You know, I'm just saying some writers just write because it's like, breathing to them. They have to do that. That's their life. But Hemingway had this sort of circle of friends, and I guess it was sort of an inner circle joke or whatever about the expatriate. I think actually that was coined, a coined phrase from Hemingway and his close knit friends, the expatriate, because they were world travelers. They had seen a lot of people die in wars. I mean, and so, it was during, a time when being a patriot really only landed you in a position of pain or death. So that was sort of Hemingway's circle's jokes about being an expatriate. That's what, and I tried, in college when I was learning about that stuff, I tried to comprehend it in a non-judgmental way, but my whole life is sort of opposed. My whole life is sort of the opposite of that kind of humor. I mean, I used to get offended when people would make jokes about Jesus because I was raised a big believer, in Jesus Christ. And so I used to get offended, but now I can laugh about it, not because I don't believe in Jesus Christ, but because I've just gotten older and I understand the jokes better. But I still sort of get offended about the patriot stuff. I really do. And it's really hard because I'm a woman, and I'm not trying to make this a sexist thing. I'm not trying to say, well, it's harder for men or it's harder for women. I'm not even going there about whose violin is bigger. I'm just saying that as a woman who has tried so hard to love my country and be a patriot, it's painful. It's painful. I mean, if you're a feminist, you're wrong. If you're a wife, you're wrong. You can't get it right as a woman. If you're a soldier and, whether you die or not, you know, if the other patriots will respect you. But if you try to even act like a soldier as a woman, you're disrespected. I mean, women patriots, we're screwed. We're just screwed from the get-go. And I'm really bothered by that. You know, I'm bothered that I had to stay the Pledge of Allegiance from kindergarten until my high school graduation, all those years, standing up every morning after the bell rang, saying the Pledge of Allegiance with my hand on my heart. I say the Pledge of Allegiance all those years, but when it came time in my adulthood to take a stand and say, yeah, I'm a patriot, well, I couldn't be a patriot because I have a vagina. I resent that, and I don't appreciate that. And inside, I'm hurt and angry about that. That's all I'm going to say for this video vlog.